This week on Shots from the Hip, the Super Bowl is in the books. Now, what are we going to talk about? We have some suggestions coming up next.
Welcome to Shots from the Hip podcast. Brought to you by Royal Retros on the Shotgun Sports Network. Here are your hosts, Jason Bizik and Oz Davis.
Hey, hipsters watching on the Shotgun Sports Network YouTube channel or listening on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please hit the like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified when we post this show or any other videos. Mr. Davis there to my right, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I won enough on this Super Bowl. It's amazing. I thought I would be bereft of sporting entertainment, but especially this past week when you have the second week of media coverage and everybody's saying the same thing. Well, Drake May hasn't been very good in the playoffs. Yes, but weather, and it's just like, so in the meantime, I was watching, of course, the Winter Olympics. I was watching the Six Nations. The Six Nations Rugby Cup is on right now. So I was watching that. So review of the Super Bowl, right? Let's do this. then we can talk about these insane props that we played. Okay. So it was, on one hand, I'm definitely a defensive guy. I love watching defenses. I love a good defensive game. And I honestly believe that the interception is the glory play in football. I mean, touchdown, yeah, great, sure. Long bomb, Dwight Clark or whatever, okay, great, sure. But no, the interception, that's a game changer. That's the most exciting play. Everybody instantly knows what it means. And so I love the defensive game. However, this one felt a bit more like Patriots 13, Rams 3 of 7-8 years ago or whenever it was. In that it wasn't so much about the defenses were awesome. It was about how the offenses couldn't get anything going. Sam Darnold was not good in this game. And I was going to propose a few alternate MVPs, but as long as it wasn't Sam Darnold, I was okay with that. Kenneth Walker got half the offense. Kenneth Walker was unstoppable. And I'm not sure why I want to say the second half, but definitely the fourth quarter, why did Seattle pass it at all? At all. Seriously, they had no need to. Yes, the Patriots came in with a reputation of having a pretty good run defense, but not in this game. Not in this game. Walker could have gotten 260 in this game. Easy. And they could have just pounded it with him all game. It was too bad because the New England defensive line was getting smoked, like their offensive line was getting smoked. Yeah. Then that was really the key to the game. And I'm just going to put this out there for anybody who likes to predict or bet on the Super Bowl. Look, if one team has a glaring weakness on the offensive line, don't bet them, right? That's the thing. We saw this with Kansas City a couple of times. They're going in with their third string offensive line against Tampa Bay, against Philadelphia. They're going to lose. There was the famous Raiders-Buccaneers Super Bowl, in which the day before the game, 2 days before the game, the starting center for the Oakland Raiders at that point, went on a bender in Juarez, Mexico, or Acapulco, or some border town in Mexico. Literally went on a bender, drank a bunch, blew a bunch of coke, and then the game was a disaster. Again, just let's all remember this, okay? Glaring weakness on the offensive line equals loss. And that was really a lot of this game for me. It was just Will Anderson was just getting destroyed. I mean, towards the end of that game, basically his move was to shove the guy left. Right? And if it was DeMarcus Lawrence, he's fast enough. So it's like, okay, I'll take a few extra yards to get to Drake May, who was sacked 8 times, by the way, in this game. It was just, to me, that was the key of the game. Yes, Seattle defense was awesome, but that left side of the New England line just let them down. People are ranting about the weak schedule. Yeah, guess what? It was the weak schedule. Patriots did have a weak schedule. You can mask, apparently, a bad left side of the line against the New York Jets, against the Cleveland Browns and teams like this. But you can't do it. I shouldn't say Cleveland, Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati Bengals. You just can't do it. And that was the thing. Seattle defense was too good for this line. That was my impressions.
I mean, they didn't mask it against the Broncos. They beat the Broncos somehow.
Yeah, but that's the thing. New England fans have been complaining about the weather they faced. Hey, the weather did them favors in Denver. You got that second string, really a third string quarterback in there, Stidham, for Denver. And it's just like, well, hey, thank you. Thank you, snow gods. All we're going to need to do is score what did they score? 10 in that game? All we have to do is score 10, 14 points and we'll win because the weather sucks and this is an inexperienced quarterback.
Now, in the fourth quarter, Drake May seemed to come alive and looked pretty good for 5 minutes. Where was that Drake May the rest of the game? Like if that Drake May would have been the rest, it would have been a very good game had that happened. But I don't know.
He's been doing this all year. It's a lot like Bo Nix. You take the first quarter, the first half to get warmed up, but he just had a bad playoffs. There's all these stats going around about how this is the worst playoff performance of the 21st century. This is a bottom 5 or 6 performance. It's reminiscent of Trent Dilfer or Tom Brady in his first Super Bowl, who was not very good. No touchdown passes in that Super Bowl. So it was just, Drake. It's weird, the narrative on this guy. A couple of weeks ago, he was looking like the MVP of the league for the regular season. And just in the playoffs, he's just been absolutely brutal. I mean, his completion percentage is like 55, 56% in the playoffs.
58.3.
58. And they actually made it like 3 or 4 games. This is the competition.
82.2% passer rating.
Yeah. Well, whatever that means. Passer rating is not a great objective statistic, in my opinion.
Now, what really killed them was 21 sacks in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. He set the record.
21 sacks in how many games did they play? 3?
Well, you're including the Super Bowl. It's 4, right?
Is it 4? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going. No. Yeah, the Patriots did not have the bye. So you play wild card, you play divisional, you play championship, you play the Super Bowl.
Right, so 4, yeah.
That's 4. Yep. So, yeah. Just terrible. He broke the record set by Joe Burrow's offensive line on that run when the Bengals made that run. And in fact, if you may remember, I certainly do, that game ended with a sack. That was the last play of that Rams-Bengals Super Bowl. Donald came in there and just crushed him, Burrows, for the period on the game. But in this game, just Drake completely ineffectual. Sam was not very good. At one point, he went on 0 for 6 run. I think at one point he was 5 of 14. I mean, it's funny because we always celebrate these big game quarterbacks. This year definitely was Matthew Stafford's year, for example, and yet Jalen Hurts has a couple of Super Bowls. Now Sam Darnold has one in recent memory. I guess it's either you have a Hall of Famer or nobody. Those are your two choices if you want to win the Super Bowl at quarterback.
Now, did you
And
see did you see the before the game when all of the past stars came out of the box and there was
nah.
Joe Montana and Jalen Hurts was one of them that came out, past Super Bowl MVPs, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Jalen Hurts came out and he looked pissed that he was not playing in this game. He did not look happy at all.
Yeah, put me in. Actually, that's a guy. Jalen Hurts is just what a mystery that dude is. The Patriots are wishing they had him because here's a guy mediocre in the regular season. He has the thing where he doesn't throw a pass in the second half. I believe twice this year the Eagles had games like that, and that goes back to like 1934 or something. The last time a team did that in a season, right? Not throwing a forward pass. My God. And so he Hurts is mediocre in the regular season and just tears it up in the playoffs. It's like 2000 Joe Flacco repeatedly, or 2008 Joe Flacco just repeatedly. Just every time he gets to the playoffs, he just tears it up. Except for this year, actually. I shouldn't say that because this year that team fell apart once again. So, I mean, good for the Seahawks. I mean, as it turned out, here's another one that everybody was saying, and they were correct on. The Super Bowl was Seahawks-Rams. That was the superior game. Those were the superior teams. In fact, those were the best two teams in the league. Those two teams were only separated by a mistakenly picked up 2-point conversion fumble in the end zone in overtime. That was the difference between these two teams. The Rams lost that one game by 2 in overtime because of that picked up fumble in the end zone. Everybody's kind of standing around going, 3. And somebody, touchdown. Slowest motion touchdown in NFL history. That one. So that was the difference between those two teams. That was the Super Bowl last week. That was a good offense torching a great defense. Was that game. So looking back, that was a real Super Bowl, everybody. Maybe we can retcon that into history. Well, so it's all over, I guess, but the tallying of props.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at this insane prop worksheet. Do you actually have this thing? Can you put it up? Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's rip through these props. Some of them are proper. Some of them are about the commercials, about the halftime show, whatever. Okay, so first up, national anthem. Under 2 minutes. I said yes. I lost.
I said over, so I got that correct.
No, over, you lose. It was under 2 minutes.
It was under. Okay, yep. I do lose.
Yep. I always go long on that. I figure they want the spotlight kept on them. Okay. Number 2, heads or tails. I picked heads and I won.
I picked tails and I lost.
Yes, I remember that. Okay, and then New England. I had New England wins the coin toss.
I had Seattle.
I won that. Okay, you're chugging along here. For the 3.
Who won? Who won? Was it New England? It was.
Yeah, New England won the toss and they elected to kick it.
Well, at least they won something.
Yeah, exactly. And it was all downhill from there.
Okay.
So, how will the first down be achieved? Well, actually, it was achieved on the first play of the game with a run by who else but Walker. I chose pass.
Yeah, me too.
So I lost on that one.
I'm doing great so far.
Why did I not have run on that? Okay, first score is a field goal, I said.
Yeah, I said touchdown.
Wow. Yeah, you're mushing it here. You would have been better to flip a coin.
I'm 0 for 5 so far.
0 for 5. All right.
Here's where I turn it around.
Okay. First team to score, Seattle. All right.
Yep.
There's a winner. Did you also have first touchdown in the fourth quarter? I'm not sure who else had that prop. Okay, so number 7. So will the player scoring the first touchdown, here it is, have an odd or even number. Now, this was AJ Barner wearing number 88. In real life, I had that prop, Barner anytime touchdown. So I was happy to win
good
that
job.
one. But I lost this one. So I had odd.
I won. I said even.
There you go. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay. The first turnover is a fumble. I said interception.
So did I.
Oh, lose.
Loser.
Okay. Now, 9. Not entirely sure about this, but because when I was watching the game, I just did not pay attention to the commercials. I just forwarded past them. However, I did find a website which had a list of all of these suckers. Now, they said that the first commercial after kickoff was, and those are the parameters of this, right?
After kickoff.
After kickoff. Now, I thought it was Allstate, but this one website listed it as Skechers. Right? So either way, if I'm correct, it's other, which I actually chose to be contrarian.
I said vehicle, so I got that wrong. So I'm doing great.
Yeah, there wasn't that much. There wasn't that many car commercials in this one.
No.
Okay, now these are the two I didn't get. I was just lazy. I could have checked it, but I did not. After kickoff, which sideline will first report in, and then which head coach will be shown first. I didn't pay attention to this when the game was on, and I did not go back and look at it. So I am lazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know on that one. Okay. Which side of the ball will be penalized first? I thought this was pretty easy.
Let's say we got 10 and 11 correct then, just to improve our stats a little bit.
Okay. Oh, let's say we did? Okay.
Yeah, we'll just say we got those two right.
Okay. All right, we'll take wins on that. Okay.
We'll cheat.
Great. Number 12, pretty easy. Which side will be penalized first? I had offense. That's a win.
Yep. So
that was one nice thing about this game. Was that very few penalties. I think there was 3 in the game. 3 in the game. So, but these are two of the cleaner teams. Literally, Seattle was the number 1 least penalized team in the league this year.
There were at least 2 pass interference calls missed.
Oh, sure. And then there was the one sideline. There was the one sideline dust up as well.
Oh, yep, that's right.
Might have been double ejection or at least single ejection, but don't think anything was going to help the Patriots on this day anyway. So it's too bad that dude stayed in the game because that was not good. I mean, he's throwing a punch, for God's sake. Yeah, I mean, Jesus. Wow. I mean, not only is that dangerous that he's going to break his hand, but it's expressly forbidden to do such a thing.
Yes.
The next one is about Bad Bunny, all right?
Yes.
And it's a little bit bizarre because they say, which of these songs will he sing first? And I went through the set list, and man, it took a while before they got to any of these songs that were listed on this poll. However, I did get this one correct.
Oh, okay. What was it?
Now, I am going to hold on just a minute. I have been curious about this, and I've been too lazy to look it up until now. It's Baella Inolvidable.
Oh, okay.
So, Unforgettable Dance.
Oh, I said Monaco.
And I took that. I won. I mean, but again, most of the songs he did were not even on this list. So I don't know who made this poll, but maybe leave the halftime show.
It sounded like one. It sounded like one long song to me.
Well, yeah, that's the way you presented it too, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like this stream of consciousness kind of thing. Pretty interesting format. I don't think I'm going to rush over to Spotify and start listening to Bad Bunny. Not like I did with Kendrick Lamar. After Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl show, I was listening to Kendrick for a while. Man.
Okay.
He's good.
I got a hot take here. Okay. I didn't watch the halftime show last night during the game. Okay. I did watch it this morning, though.
Okay.
I have to say, number 1, I didn't mind it. I like listening to Latin music. I like the presentation and the dancing and all that.
He's fun.
However, the NFL missed a huge opportunity to gain back a little bit of love from fans. I feel they should have presented the English lyrics on the screen.
Yeah.
Had they done that, they would have actually made this somewhat successful. Now it was successful.
Yeah.
It's the most watched halftime show in history, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, he's number one on Spotify, apparently. Apparently on Spotify, he's more popular than friggin' Taylor Swift, which is
So
pretty
I
hard to
enjoyed it.
imagine.
I didn't mind it.
I mean, he's
besides
fine.
not knowing what he was saying.
Well, yeah, but okay. See, a lot of people have made this remark, and let's do the thing where we check our privilege, because look, I live in Hungary. I've been in Europe for on and off for a long time. In Europe, these people have grown up listening to English language rock and roll. Okay. These people have spent their whole lives listening to songs where they don't know the lyrics.
Okay.
So, learn it. If you're that into it, you learn it. I mean, I got so many students who learned English through Pink Floyd and the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and whatnot. So really, seriously, I mean, and especially with Spanish, look, it's not like this is Lithuanian. It's not like nobody speaks this.
Right.
It's not like it's even that far removed from English. Okay,
Right.
There's a lot of cognates, like French. There's a lot of cognates from English to Spanish, right? So, I have very little sympathy for the language. However, subtitles is an excellent idea. Subtitles is an excellent idea. When I go to the opera, I love opera, but when I go, I do like to have the words. I do like to have the text, So that's an excellent idea. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I wonder if they can do this, where they can actually do. You could on TV for sure.
Oh yeah,
there's no question. Just subtitles, right? It happens all the time. Just because it's live, it doesn't matter. You know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. But I think he's okay. I'm not down, but I'll tell you what. I watched the Green Day thing, and I love Green Day. I wish they had done a halftime show.
Yeah,
that's more of a classic.
They're always good
show. Yeah, Green Days. Yeah, and I had just seen this movie Begonia, which does what's the name of the song? Do you have time to listen to me whine? What's the name of that song? Right, that one. It's one of those ones that everybody knows by the lyrics.
What the heck? What is that?
Yeah. And so, I saw this movie Begonia where it's the kind of scene where you'll never look at that song get the same way again after that movie. So I enjoyed the Green Day thing.
Basket case.
Basket case. That's it. Yeah, basket case. So I loved Green Day. I thought their before the concert was before the Super Bowl was great. I wish they had done the halftime show, but I'm an old guy.
Yeah.
So let the kids have their day, right? All right. Will Bad Bunny. What kind of hat will he wear for his first song? I picked baseball cap. I thought it was going to be a Super Bowl cap. Nope, hat.
I said no hat, so I got that.
All right, well done. Okay, now here's my disputed one. Okay, so it says here, number 15 says the first?
Well, the first commercial following
the first half advertised a beverage.
Yes.
Now, as far as I know, that was Uber Eats. Now, I think that could go either way, right? I think you could say, well, they do beverages. So I'm going to take this one as a win as well.
Okay.
I said yes.
I said yes as well.
All right. So win.
Win.
Okay. And here we go. Here's hitting all the unders. All right. Quarterback of 300 yards passing.
Close.
I said no. I won. Yeah.
I said no as well. Drake May was 5 yards shy.
Yeah. How?
Yeah,
What was that? Like 250 in garbage time?
yeah, pretty much.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so will a running back get 75 or more yards? I said
Well, it says
yes.
will any player, but
Oh, yeah. I said yes, but is that a loss?
no.
Did
Walker had
Walker had
135
more than
yards.
75, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so
that's
that's a
actually a
win.
win too. All right,
Yeah, I
great.
said yes as well.
Okay, will JSN
Yeah.
or Stephon Diggs score a touchdown? I thought this was an easy play. I thought this was a sucker bet. I said yes, and it was no.
I said yes as well. And did he even get more than one reception?
Uh,
I don't even.
well, remember, he went out. He went out. They thought
Yeah.
that he was concussed. They put him in a tent. He's like, no, let me play. They said, no, go to the locker room. Went
Oh,
to
I
the
thought he
locker
had
room,
his
came
ankle
back
rolled
out.
on.
Well, yeah, but they were testing him for concussion, dude. That's what they're
Okay.
saying today.
Oh,
And they were like, nope, we're pulling you from the game. And he got to the locker room, and I don't know if he put up a fit or just, passed more tests or whatever, but he was back. So
he
he
had
had a couple of
He had 4
receptions.
receptions.
Yeah, he had a
Oh,
couple in the second half. But in the
wow.
first quarter, dude, he didn't even get a target in the first quarter, which
Wow,
was exactly
Cup even had 6 receptions.
Yeah.
Those were very silent receptions because I don't even remember his name being called.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow. I was all over him for MVP. I was all over
Yeah.
him as the former Los Angeles Rams MVP. But no, he was teeing off there in the first quarter and second quarter, especially. There were a couple that that were, thrown slightly off target, so he didn't get. There was the one where they replayed it, they checked it out, where it kind of looked like it skimmed the
Oh,
turf.
right. That was
Right?
him. That
So there
just,
was
yeah.
three. There was, I mean, I don't know what his targets had to have been at least 9 because there were those 3 that I remember. So he had to have at least 9 targets. But JSN didn't even get a target in the first quarter, which is exactly what I and most people figured, is that the Patriots are just going to be all over Smith and Jigba the whole game.
Cup had 12.
12 targets. Yeah.
12 targets.
Yeah.
JSN had 10.
Yep. 10 that's right. I remember them saying that at one point where he had like 8 targets and 2 catches. And then he got his last 2. It was like Sam did not play a good game. He did not. And I honestly feel like he's going to keep them out of the Super Bowl next year. I'm back to being a skeptic on Darnold. Okay, so
19.
Will Lawrence or Clausen get a sack? I thought this was a sucker bet. I said yes, but it was no. Did you lose this one?
I can't believe out of all the sacks that they didn't get.
Yeah, well, this was the thing. This was what really kept, I think, the voters away from giving it to giving the MVP to a defensive player, because the stats were so spread. There was 6 sacks by 4 players, right? Derek Hall had a couple, and Byron Murphy, had a couple. Murphy, I thought, was a beast. This dude, he's officially listed at about 305, 306, but he looked like he was about 400 pounds out there. He was crushing it. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss.
Is he the guy that took the left tackle and drove him all the way back into May and then grabbed May and hauled him?
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah, that was Byron Murphy. Yeah. Best defensive play of the game. That was awesome.
Oh, man.
He was great. I think he would have been the biggest dude ever to win the MVP of the Super Bowl. So that would have been nice too, because man, he was a truck out there. Again, couldn't stand up. Left side of the New England line killed him.
Oh, man.
Okay, so number 20, miss field goal or extra point. I said no.
I said no as well.
No. Yeah. Congratulations to Seattle kicker making a new record for points scored by a kicker. Multiple touchdowns by any player. I said no.
I also said no.
That's a win. Will there be a play of 49 more than 49 yards, 50 or more yards? And I said no. Pretty sure that's a win. Right? Yep. There was nothing even close. Yep. I got the long here as
I think there was one. Yeah.
36. Yep. Oh no. The long is 35 by May.
Yeah.
May had a 35-yarder to Mac Hollins, who actually was really good. I mean, only 4 catches, but 78 yards. Always a big play by him. Good job by him. Will there be a play overturned by, replay officials?
Yeah, or replay
and
assistants.
I said yes, but this was no, because again, not too many penalties in this one.
I said no.
Okay. Lose. All right. So, will there be a defensive touchdown or a defensive or special teams touchdown or safety? I said yes. I also bet this. I won next to the gratuitous touchdown in the fourth quarter by the Seattle defense. You? Did you have yes?
I said no. I don't recall there being a defensive touchdown.
Yeah. Yep. Last touchdown of the game was a defensive touchdown. He picked it off.
Oh, right.
Oh no, it was a fumble. It was a fumble.
No, right? It was he picked it up. Okay. May's arm was hit, and then the ball went basically right to the guy's chest. Yeah.
Yep. Right.
That's right. Okay.
And so, return it for a touchdown. Let's see. Hang on. So that was Nwosu. That's it. It was Nwosu. 40. That was the longest completion of the game, actually, 45 yards. That was the longest play of the game. That was the pick six. So I won that. You got to take that. You got to take that prop. That's so much fun.
That was May's best pass.
Yeah, no joke.
Right in the numbers.
Right. All right. Touchdown May. -6 points on your fantasy team. All right. So will there be a scoreless quarter? I said yes.
So did I.
This was actually no.
And it's hard to believe that there wasn't, because it seemed like there was.
Right. No touchdowns. Touchdownless quarter. We had 3 of them. Okay. So which will be the highest scoring quarter? Dude. Never take the first quarter. Never take the first quarter. I was foolish and I took the third quarter. For a while there, it looked like a winner because there was 6 points in the third, right? And there was only 3. No, there was only 3 points in the third. So for a while there, it was the second quarter at 6-0 for the second quarter. All right. We both lost that. Which beer will advertise most frequently? Yeah, will be advertised most. I went with Coors Light. The answer was Budweiser.
Budweiser or Bud Light?
Yeah, I wasn't entirely 100% sure. So
I'll call that one a loss.
I'd give you 50-50 on that. Anheuser-Busch killed all the other beers this year in terms of budget. So
I don't even remember any other beers being advertised.
Yeah, they just killed it. They just dominated. Okay, now this one I was a little bit shaky on, but I think I got the answer. Which product will be advertised most? Now, as far as I could tell, it was soda, mostly Pepsi. And that's what I had.
Yeah, so, I said chips.
Oh, really? Okay, so I think this is soda. I'm not 100% sure, but this is a very critical question. Okay, will any NFL player appear in a commercial? Current NFL player appear in a commercial. What did you have for this one?
I said yes.
Okay, did you catch who it was? Because it is yes. Did you catch what this one? Okay, so this was apparently, because again, it blew right past me. This was Derrick Henry, who was advertising for Oikos.
Oh, Greek
Oikos?
yogurt.
How do I say this?
Oikos, yeah, Greek yogurt.
Oikos. Yeah. Wow, which is pretty weird. And so he's advertising with some actress's name. Some actress. Catherine Hahn. Catherine Hahn. So I don't know who that is. But that seems to be the only one that got a commercial.
I seem to recall Matthew Stafford having a commercial.
Oh, did he? Okay, that would
For
make
some
sense.
reason that's in my brain. I don't know why.
Okay. No, I do not have Stafford on this list. So that's a win if you had that. All right, color Gatorade.
Color Gatorade.
Yeah, what color of Gatorade will be dumped on the coach? What did you have here?
I said orange.
I said yellow, and that was
One.
actually the winner.
Yep.
I think that's the first time I've ever got this right. I don't really bet this in real life, but I always end up guessing it, and I finally got it right. And it was weird because when they did it, I was looking, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if it was orange or yellow or green or what. And so I had to look on an official site which tracks this shit. Okay. Who would the MVP? Walker. Thank first.
Yep.
What did you say?
I said God. It seems to me they always thank God first.
Yep. God wins.
Is that what you picked as well?
No, I was an idiot. I thought he was going to go with teammates. I'm not a religious guy myself. So, and then finally, Seattle wins the game. I think you had that as well.
I did.
Okay.
As did you, I think.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I had Seattle. Okay. So then, actually, my final score was pretty good. I actually ended up with 22 out of 32, if I take both the coaches. Props. And I ended up being only 10 of 18 in the actual football game.
I got 16.
I'm not 16. Wow. Well, yeah, because you took that 0 for 6 at the beginning, right? There you go. That was the secret of your game. Got off to a slow start.
I'm playing teacher here, and I'm writing on here needs more effort.
F plus.
F plus.
So okay.
Horrible.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm sure that this was repeated all over the betting landscape, with the exception of Seattle. I think the over-under was probably 50-50 in terms of who bet what. It usually is. Although, man, I don't know why you would ever take the over on this game. Yes, it was a low line, but still, this is an under.
Yes.
However, all of the player props missed, probably. Nobody hit the overs on this thing. Who scored the touchdowns? Okay, Barner. Not a big surprise. I got him at like 4-1, 5-1, something like that. Not a big surprise. But Jesus, I mean, the odds-on favorite to score a touchdown, JSN, didn't score a touchdown. The defense scored one of the touchdowns, and there was 5 field goals. So most of your touchdown props lost. Diggs, all his unders hit. You know, Walker is about the only one that hit overs. Passing were under. Sacks was over. If you had that, sacks of Drake May was certainly over. I think it was
field goals must have been over.
Yeah, field goals was over. But I mean, and again, like I say all the time, props are gambling, dude. They're gambling. That's it. If you bet overs on this game, sorry, but you lost. I mean, everybody likes to bet the over. Everybody likes to bet the over because it's exciting, right? That's why I said, like, you have to say yes to defensive special teams touchdown. You have to. It's more fun, right? And so everybody wants to do that. But guys, you're playing with real money out there. Okay, don't do it. All right. So wrap of the NFL season.
That is a wrap.
Right. So what are we going to talk about the rest of the year? Well, nicely for fans of the NFL and CFL, guess what? Super Bowl plays, you get a day off, and now free agency in the CFL is open.
Yeah.
So, hit me. What do you got?
Yeah, so right now we're going to discuss, although very little probably, the top 5 CFL free agents as of right now.
Okay, now, before we begin, your number one, Wynton McManus, has signed with Hamilton.
Yes, so I
Already.
replaced him.
Right. Oh, okay. So what do you got now? Not ready
I
for this.
I replaced him coincidentally with the same teammate, Devarius Daniels, receiver.
Oh, right.
Now,
Right.
not necessarily the number one free agent. These aren't in any particular order. There's so I got Devarius
Go ahead.
Daniels from Toronto. I got Curly Gittens Jr. from the Edmonton Elks. I got Dominique Rhymes from the Calgary Stampeders. I have quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson from the Montreal Alouettes.
Mhm.
And the big shocker here, receiver Dalton Schoen from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who have been stacking their team so far, but not re-signing their big receiver.
Yeah. Well, maybe he thinks he can get a little bit more somewhere else. I'm not sure how much more, but playing in the CFL every few thousand helps, right? So I was kind of surprised by Wynton McManus, actually. As bad as the Toronto defense was last year, he was really the bright spot. Led the team in tackles, did the CFL fantasy football commercials, which was really bizarre. He was the coolest guy in the advertisement, but he was saying, pick me on your fantasy team. It's like, wait, what do you mean? You mean the Toronto defense? Okay. Sure. Not this year, dude. And so I think McManus has got to be a thing where he wanted more money, face of the defense, et cetera, et cetera. And it pained me as a Montreal fan to see that he went to Hamilton. I see where McLeod Bethel Thompson, who once eschewed the CFL to go play in the XFL, I believe, and then came crawling back to the CFL. I got problems with McLeod Bethel Thompson. Aside from that, he was very bad as the Montreal Alouettes substitute quarterback last year. I'm not surprised that he's gone. The Alouettes signed Dustin Crum, which I thought was kind of bizarre. Davis Alexander is going to go out. I mean, in the CFL, you have to plan for your starting quarterback to miss a few games.
Right.
And so they bring on Crum, who's just like completely different quarterback. Of course, that's what we were looking at with Bethel Thompson last year. The Montreal Alouettes built this whole game plan around, Alexander. And then he goes out. No substitute, no backup quarterback is going to be able to work this offense with any sort of, vim and vigor, and so I'm not surprised that Bethel Thompson is leaving. I was surprised that Dustin Crum is aboard. The Dalton Schoen thing is pretty massive. Let's sign him out. Let's get him over here.
Right.
I don't know, maybe Edmonton or Calgary is thinking they can snatch him up because Edmonton's losing Gittens, who's not the all-star on that team. And the Elks have a pretty fair receiving core. So.
Curly Gittens Jr. was no slough this season. He's a pretty large receiver to lose, in my opinion.
Yeah. But the Elks, I felt like, especially towards the end of the season, that the Elks had a pretty they had a lot of weapons on offense. Of course, the running game, fantastic in Edmonton. But towards the end of the year there, they had a pretty fair crop of wide receivers, I thought. So maybe they can afford to lose Gittens. Like I say, maybe they think they have a chance at Dalton. But perhaps that's their thinking here. Dominique Rhymes was a bit of a shocker, but he kind of moves around a little bit. What do you think as a Stamps guy? How do you see this? Why is Rhymes leaving town again?
Well, this wouldn't shock me so much if Damian Alford were staying, but Damian Alford is going to be playing in the NFL. I'm pretty certain this season.
Yeah.
So they're
Well,
going to
he's
lose.
got a proper contract. So yeah,
So
he's
yeah.
staying. Yeah, he's
So they're
staying.
gonna lose. So they're gonna lose Damian Alford. So who's your next biggest guy? Like, I mean, Dominic Grimes is probably one of your next top receivers.
Mhm.
And actually, now that I was looking at the Stampeders free agents earlier today, there's a lot of shocks here to me. Adam Bighill, Logan Bonner, Joshua Coker, Malik Henry. Like these are
Wow.
big name guys.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
one more. Oh, Dominique Grimes, of course. Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm shocked at the turnover in Calgary.
Yeah.
Again, like,
Yeah.
did this team just win the Grey Cup? Because this looks like what happens after you win the Grey Cup. You get picked apart like this, right? But for
Yeah.
some reason, Calgary feels that they can shed these parts.
Unless they feel nobody's going to pick those guys up and they'll sign them later. I don't know.
Resign, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Resign,
Again,
not
like,
resign.
no, re-sign. Yeah, you got to put the stress on the right syllable. Hey, as an English teacher, I can tell you, yes, you got to put the stress on the right syllable. Maybe, maybe this has become, there's not too many huge name free agents. There's no Bo Levy-Mitchell out there this year. But maybe this is the Dalton Schoen sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Maybe
is he
Dominique will.
Is he the biggest one, you feel?
Probably. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you would say Rhymes. I mean, Rhymes is a superstar. Rhymes is a potential CFL Hall of Famer. Right?
Now, I'm not a salary guy. I don't follow salaries a whole lot. Who's the biggest salary here?
Well, it can't be Bethel Thompson. It can't be Bethel Thompson. And it's probably not McManus. So I would just guess it's Rhymes based on just longevity.
It's got to be either Rhymes or Schoen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, maybe that's the thing. Schoen wants to move up a level.
Yeah.
He wants to move up a level and pay. Yeah, and pay. Yeah, and Calgary could pay him, especially since they're losing so many big names. Big Hill is not too shocking. I mean, he was retired, right?
That's true.
I mean,
That's
effectively retired. I thought he was going to become part of the coaching staff, to be honest, there in Calgary. He spent a lot of time on the sideline last year. So okay. Also, real quick, I have the opening odds for Grey Cup champion. If you would like.
I would love to hear this.
Some of these are kind of insulting, so I want to know what you think about some of these. Okay, so again, in CFL odds, few of these are worth the money. Okay, so these are not great odds here. However, if you pick the winner, you get a nice payout. Montreal is the favorite at plus 270. That's about 5-2, 2.5-1. Okay. Wow. Second favorite are the BC Lions at 500. So basically, they feel that Montreal is almost twice as likely to win the Grey Cup next year. Without Daryl Sankey, I'm not sure. But hey, who knows? Riders plus 600. So
this shocks me.
The book is not liking the repeat. Well, come on. Everybody likes the Lions. We've been waiting on BC for
the Lions. Now. I'm not too surprised about. I figured the Lions and the Riders would be 1 and 2. Montreal surprises me.
Yeah. Especially
if Alexander stays healthy, then maybe.
Yeah. I mean, my God, it was night and day last season when he was in there and when he was not. I don't know if it's just energizing the team. I don't know, but it was just night and day. Toronto is the fourth favorite at plus 650. Calgary 7-1. Winnipeg 9-1. I'm kind of surprised they're that high. Hamilton plus 950. Surprised the odds are that long.
Wow.
Ottawa plus 1,100. Surprised those odds are that short. I think there's one team that's not winning it. It's Ottawa. And finally, Edmonton Elks at plus 1,900. Now, that means the implied odds are 5% on the Elks to win the Grey Cup. That's a bargain. That's a bargain. Because I can imagine that. I can imagine that. Yeah, that might be a nice, throw $20 at that, win 380. Because, I mean, I think that the Vogue pick to at least make the playoffs is going to be the Elks. But I think that, who knows, because this is the CFL. Who knows? I don't think the Riders are going to repeat out of the West. And like I said, we've been waiting on the Lions for forever.
Yeah.
Calgary, I'm going to have to wait and see what they do in the offseason because they could be completely different configuration. So, man, Edmonton is getting no respect here. And I think that Hamilton is not getting much respect.
No.
Here either. And even the Lions at 5-1, I think is long. I think by the beginning of the season, this might be 3-1. You want to plug our sponsor?
I would love to plug our sponsor. Sponsor, of course, is Royal Retros.
That's right.
RoyalRetros.com. When I say retros, I mean retro memorabilia, jerseys, ball caps, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, jackets. They have everything. The proverbial more. Royal Retros has the gear and the paraphernalia representing dozens of teams from the USFL, Arena Football League, World Football League, XFL, Football Canada, various pro hockey leagues, including the WHA, ABA, basketball, and the real selling point is baseball. Now, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I know a lot of people are, and they sell a lot of baseball memorabilia. The majors, and by majors, Royal Retros means teams like the St. Louis Browns, the Seattle Pilots, also teams from the Negro Leagues and Pacific Coast League days. Best of all, you can get 10% off anything in the store when you use promo code SFTH at checkout. That's royalretros.com and enter promo code SFTH, shots from the hip, for 10% off.
I want to change that promo code. I'm going to see if they'll change that to hipster. I want our promo code to be hipster. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be hilarious. Yeah, the thing is, the thing about just straight up memorabilia, right? If you just want some cool looking thing, you're not necessarily going for your team. Okay, now you say you're not a big baseball fan, but I'll tell you what, in terms of just if you just want cool logos, baseball.
Oh, yeah.
MLB wins. Plus, we've got all the history as well. There's just some great retro ball.
Yeah, like here's the Federal League. Here's some Federal League stuff here. Look at that. St. Louis Terriers.
The last time Buffalo had a professional baseball team is the Federal League.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bisons.
The Buffalo Bisons.
So, but yeah, just dope, especially if you're in one of those medium markets. I mean, how great.
Look at some of these. Look at this Houston Colt 45s jersey.
Yeah, 45s. Yeah.
The Pilots, the Seattle Pilots. Look at the colors on that.
Yeah. That's a nice blue. Yeah, that's swell.
St. Louis Browns. Great stuff. Look at these satin jackets.
Yeah.
Beautiful jackets, jerseys. They got it all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice. And some of that like I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, some of that stuff from the NFL Europe and World Football Leagues is just fantastic. Just really great styles. So in any case, okay, let's move on to the highlight, the calling card of our show. It's time for, and we need music for this too. It's time for discuss, debate, and defer. Here's the way it works.
Welcome to the SFTH halftime show.
It's all going to be in Hungarian. Sorry, everybody.
Hit
In
me.
a Lego film. Okay.
All right,
So,
hit me. What do you got?
okay. So here's the way this works. One of us throws out 3 topics. The other one of us decides whether we want to discuss, debate, or defer these topics. All right. So here's topic number 1. Here's the deferred topic from last week. Better movie, Bull Durham or Major League? Topic number 2, Lindsey Vonn, greatest female athlete alive, greatest Olympian in the Winter Olympics. What do you think? Interesting developments with Lindsey Vonn this past weekend, unfortunately for her.
Yeah.
And finally, here's the big one. Been a lot of talk about this lately. Should All-Star games be retired? So,
Yeah.
discuss, debate, defer.
Now I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible because we're already over an hour, I think.
Super.
I am going to defer on Lindsey Vonn being the greatest athlete alive or in these Winter Olympics. In these Winter Olympics, maybe. Save for, a few players on the Canadian men's hockey team, I think. But I digress.
No, I just wanted to say really quickly, unfortunately, we make up this list during our massive production meetings on the weekends. And so, but after I prepared this part of the show, Lindsey Vonn in her first race crashed out in 13 seconds in these Olympics. Yeah.
Nasty spill, nasty crash.
Yeah. This is after getting a knee replacement now a couple of years ago, and then tearing an ACL
last week
in Switzerland, right, in the prelims for this. All right. And so this is akin to Bo Jackson, who famously dislocated his hip, had to quit football, got a hip replacement, and came back with the California Angels. Now, he wasn't awesome that year, but just the fact that he could play 160 games on a plastic hip, just incredible. Same thing with Lindsey Vonn. I mean, she's doing this on an artificial knee. Nice. But not anymore. If this is the last we've seen of Lindsey, and you can't help but think so, really. Great career, really fantastic. One of the greats, athletes of our time. Maybe I guess now the greatest female athlete title will have to go to Trinity Rodman. So,
well,
okay.
Although I deferred this, I do want to throw in who I believe is the greatest female. See, now that I'm thinking about it, I wasn't sure if you meant current athletes or of all time.
Oh yeah, no, not of all time.
Because Serena Williams is the greatest female athlete of all time.
Well,
in my opinion.
Yeah, except that have you heard of Babe Didrikson?
No.
Babe Didrikson was an AAU basketball champion. She was an Olympic athlete, and then after the Olympics, she became the greatest women's pro golfer ever.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Babe Didrikson is maybe one of the greatest American athletes ever, period. Female, male.
Wow.
I mean, 3-sport superstar she was. So, but yeah, in the modern times, Serena is a machine. Serena is amazing. But one sport. And I'm always prejudiced toward the 2-sport stars. So, you got to be Deion Sanders. You got to be Bo Jackson. You got to be Jim Thorpe.
Michael Jordan.
Well, as Spike Lee said, he couldn't hit the wicked AA curve, right? As Spike Lee said in his commercials. Okay, so you still got 2 topics on the board.
Now, this is always hard for me because the only way we can debate something is if I know you feel the opposite on one of these topics.
Oh no, because I can debate either side. I'll debate.
Okay. Let's debate the better movie, Bull Durham or Major League.
Okay.
Now, this is a difficult choice for me because I love both movies.
Okay.
They're somewhat similar in a way. Both feature a sort of corny style of comedy. When it comes to actors and acting, I think Bull Durham takes it because you got Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins. Now they're all big names now, but when Bull Durham was, featured, they weren't big names back then yet, and they do a great job with the sarcasm and the timing and incorporating the love story while at the same time keeping, the baseball aspect in the movie. Now when it comes to Major League, you got, of course, Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes, Rene Russo, Tom Berenger,
Corbin
etc.
Burnson,
Corbin Burnson,
Rene
yeah.
Rousseau,
Rene Russo, yeah.
Right?
At the time they made Major League, these were already major stars in cinema.
Well,
And
except for
yet,
Wesley. Except for
and
Wesley.
yet you would never know it from the acting in this movie, because the acting in Major League I didn't like so much. It seemed too cheesy for me. There is a love story, but it's more of a comedic love story. It's not, not so serious as Bull Durham. The actual baseball scenes, though, were a lot better. I feel they were pretty good. But if I
Well,
had to
some
pick,
of these guys can play, right? This is
oh yeah,
always a test. This is always a test, especially in baseball movies. Do you look like you can play? Right?
yeah,
Charlie Sheen looked perfect as a
yeah.
pitcher.
Sort of
He
Burnson looked good too, fielding
Yeah,
balls on
Burnson
third
can
base.
play, but Berenger, I wasn't buying at all. And you could see that every scene with Berenger, they kept him as the catcher,
Yeah,
right? The only time you see him bat is when he's pretending to swing the bat, right? He has the fake bat. He's like doing it in his suit or whatever on the empty field. And even then, he looked terrible. You can't swing a bat, dude. You don't know what this looks like, right?
yeah,
But Wesley, obviously, he looks like he can play. Charlie really impressed me, because there are times you have the classic shot behind the plate and you can still see that it's Charlie Sheen. This is not CGI or whatever. And
yeah,
he can throw. He looks like that's a windup what he's doing. So I was really
yeah.
impressed on this rewatch, especially with Charlie Sheen in particular. But Wesley gets some great physical comedy moments in this movie as
And
well.
the big guy, who's the big guy? What was his name? The big
Oh,
guy that hits all the home runs.
the voodoo guy.
The voodoo guy.
Who couldn't hit the major league curve, right?
It wasn't Joe Boo. Joe Boo was his little voodoo doll, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what side are you coming down on here?
If I had to pick one, again, I love both of them. I gotta go with Bull Durham. I just like I don't like the cheesiness and the corniness of Major League.
I said I could debate either of these, but I can't. But look, the better movie is Bull Durham, okay, for a couple of reasons. All right. First off, one thing for me is titles mean something. Okay. Now look, Bull Durham is not expressly a baseball. It's not about baseball, right? It's about Bull Durham, right? It's about this character who's going to set the record for minor league home runs. It's about the groupie that he gets with, which is one nice thing about Bull Durham, is it shows that angle of baseball that most people don't want to talk about, are the ones who collect these women who collect players. You know what I mean? So, and I really love that. And plus Susan Sarandon is so damn sexy in this movie. So you have to love it for that. Okay. Now, I had watched Major League once before when it first was out. It was fresh, right? And I remember not liking it very much because, like you said, I didn't like the corniness, the cheesiness, or whatever. But this time, I was shocked at how funny the first 45 minutes to an hour are of this film. They do some great, there's lots of humor in baseball, both locker room stuff as well as on-field stuff. But the thing is, you get the classic owner wants to sell the team and move them to a warmer place. You had this in Slapshot. You had this in Semi-Pro. the Will Ferrell movie about basketball. This is the theme, right? Owner wants to sell the team. Okay, for first 45 minutes, hour.
Don't forget Bob Uecker.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Bob Uecker was great.
Oh, Uecker was awesome. Right. So for the first, 45 minutes to an hour, this thing is hilarious. And then it gets bogged down in this stupid Berenger Rene Russo love story.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Bull Durham is on some level about love and sex. Major League should not have been. None of the best parts of Major League are about that romance. None. I'm not even sure it belongs in this movie. Certainly not as an A plot line. Certainly not, right? So Major League loses. However, I would say this about Bull Durham. I do think Bull Durham is a little bit overrated. Okay. It's a great film, but it's certainly not the best baseball movie ever, which a lot of people think. It's certainly not the best sports movie ever. And in fact, I would not even say it's Ron Shelton's best movie. Okay. Now, Ron Shelton made a run of 4 really excellent sports movies that I love. Okay. Bull Durham, Tin Cup, right? Also with Kevin Costner and Rene Russo, who was in Major League. Okay. There was White Men Can't Jump, as I've talked about. One of my
also Wesley Snipes.
Right. Also with Wesley Snipes. We got a little repertory company happening here. And then finally, and I'm sorry that I have not brought this up before because we often talk movies on this show, probably my all-time favorite boxing movie, which nobody has seen. It's a movie called The Great White Hype. Okay. Fantastic movie. Stars Samuel Jackson as like this Don King kind of promoter. Also has Corbin Burnson in it. And Cheech Marin is also in it. But the main sports plot line is Damon Wayans is the heavyweight champ. And they can't find anyone for him to fight. And he's become like this arrogant, overweight, out of shape guy. And so what Sam Jackson decides to do is to find a white guy to fight him. Right? Because that's going to draw money. Right? It's awesome. It is so freaking funny and it's insightful on boxing, on race relations, like a lot of Ron Shelton's movies are. Things like that. And so The Great White Hype, check out this movie. In my opinion, way better than Bull Durham. Definitely different. Definitely different. And the ending is brilliant. There's a twist right at the end. If you see this movie, tell me, because I want to ask you about about what happens at the end, because the ending is brilliant.
Now I'm going to note it, and I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know where you might find this. Maybe on
I'll
Tubi.
find it somewhere.
Maybe on Tubi. I know Shelton's other movies are there. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Great White Hype. Awesome movie. Okay, so actually, I thought that maybe we were going to end up discussing this one. Should All-Star Games as a concept be retired? So I don't know. What's your gut feeling on this? Let's discuss.
Now, I'm strictly coming from a hockey All-Star Game point of view. I never even thought about the other sports, but no, they should not be retired. Wow. But I believe they need to be revamped to make them more watchable and more competitive. And here's what I would do.
Okay.
First of all, and again, this is hockey I'm talking about. First of all, I get rid of all these Heritage Classic games and Stadium Series games that are outdoors. And I would make the
All-Star you don't like the game. Outdoors?
Okay. I'd make the All-Star Game the outdoor game.
Yeah.
The Heritage Classic games, they were great when it started with the first game between the Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
Although There really wasn't any heritage connection between the Oilers and Canadians, so I'm not sure why they paired those two. I'm not sure, like, why not have the Oilers and the Flames, or even the Oilers and the Islanders, because those were the two teams the Oilers battled the most back in the 80s. So it would make sense to have those two teams play.
Well, yeah, or original six, dude.
Yeah.
Original
Anyway,
six. Just have
yeah.
Montreal, Boston.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Montreal, Boston,
Or
Detroit,
Buffalo,
Chicago.
Toronto. Yeah. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. That's what it should have been.
Yeah, but I mean, the All-Star game, make it an outdoor game. Then get rid of this 3-on-3 tournament style that they got going on, because that's not hockey.
Right.
Go back to a full roster regular game between the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. The third thing I would do, I'd shrink the nets down. Instead of having them 6 feet wide, I'd have them 5 feet wide, because there's nothing worse than watching an All-Star game that ends in a score of 12-9 or 10-8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think shrinking the net down a bit would make the goal scoring more difficult and make the game more competitive.
Geez, dude, why not international?
Oh, I don't mind that idea. They tried this a while ago. They tried doing the North American versus Europe, and they did try that a while ago, and I didn't mind it.
See, that would be, I mean, especially in hockey, I feel like that's the play, man.
Now when it comes to baseball All-Star games, I haven't watched many baseball All-Star games, but from what I have watched, I don't mind the baseball All-Star games. They seem a lot more competitive to me than hockey.
Well,
All-Star
baseball is fun. This should have been our debate, because I'm starting to come around to this idea. Okay, why did All-Star games begin? Well, All-Star games began with baseball, right? And in fact, this was a big one in Negro League ball. And what a lot of people forget is back in the day, Major League Baseball players in the off season would do barnstorming. So this would be Babe Ruth would get together like 7 or 8 guys and then go around the country, go around the South, Texas, Florida, and places like this, and then play whoever. Play local teams, play minor league teams.
Kind of like the Globetrotters.
Right. So All-Star games were all over the place, right? Let's say makeshift teams outside of the regular Major League Baseball team structure. Same thing goes for the Negro League teams as well. In the summertime, some of those guys would tour around Cuba and stuff, in the off season. Pretty nice life in those days. So baseball did this, but see, again, like college football bowl games, it's a product of a different era. Truth is, Ernie Banks plays his whole career in Chicago with the Cubs. If you're a Boston Red Sox fan, you're never going to see this guy at the park. You probably never hear him on the radio. And until the 80s, you wouldn't even see him on TV, right? Because it's not a local game, right? And so you had to have the All-Star game because, again, like Ernie Banks is literally on the Cubs, never going to face the American League. I mean, the Cubs are never going to make the World Series, right? So in those days. So it was a special, unique thing. It's a chance for people all over the country to see the players they don't normally see. That's gone. I mean, Jesus, you even have interleague play in baseball now. Maybe the baseball game should switch to Americans versus the world, or America, Japan versus the Spanish speakers, something like this, right? But okay, baseball is one that can still be competitive because it's not the kind of game where you need to have a team strategy per se, right? You can put that team together and bam, I know this guy hits home runs. I know this guy steals bases. This guy's my glove at shortstop. You can create a baseball lineup in a day, right? That's no problem, right? Get all these guys together, let's play, all right? But other games are unique. I mean, imagine having a soccer all-star game, right? And this is a problem with this is ultimately why they went to touch, or not touch, but flag football for the NFL All-Star game, is that, nobody wants to get hurt, nobody's trying, and you'd have these 70 to 66 games. You'd have these arena league games. And nobody's really blocking, So, and then the worst one, of course, is basketball. The All-Star game used to be meaningful. The dunk contest used to be meaningful. And whenever Kobe Bryant or Allen Iverson was in those games, they wanted to win. There were some guys who really had the spark there. I think that there were years when LeBron James really wanted to win the All-Star game. But now, I mean, nobody cares about the three-point contest. Nobody cares about the dunks. Nobody cares about the game. They've tried to reformat this game several times. They have Charles Barkley like picking a team and whatever, playing coach. Come on, Barkley's not a coach. I love Barkley. He's not a coach. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's worth considering. And I really think that in hockey, if you're not going to go USA, if you're not going to go North America versus the world, I mean, what's the point? I think those guys would care about that. I think they would. International games in hockey are intense. And I think a lot of these guys who have played together or whatnot before, I think that they would want to beat the USA. And sorry, Canada, for associating with America. I think that would be the way to go in hockey. But yeah, maybe it's time to start thinking about this. I know it's a sacred cow, but other people are talking about it now too. So
Interesting.
Maybe its time has passed.
Yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for episode number 5 of Shots from the Hip. We will see you again next week with probably a lot more Olympic talk, since NFL is done and nothing else is really happening.
Well, hockey, basketball. Hey, this week, the Six Nations. Hey, man, I got a lot. I'm stoked.
You realize eventually you're going to have to start talking about hockey, and I'm going to have to start talking about basketball. So we're going to have to brush up.
May, June. I know nothing about March Madness, so you won't have to worry about that at least. Anyway, much more coming up this year, despite the NFL season being over. Yes, Virginia, there are other sports besides football.
Yeah. So adios.